Hi guys, welcome back again to Red Table Podcast. I am your host Abigail. I'm sure you have missed us. I'm sure you've already checked out the content that we dished out last week. If you haven't, please give it a look, give it a watch. Today we have a very special guest, and I have a habit of just letting my guests introduce themselves because I feel like I never do justice.
Okay.
So then this is time, it's like shine away. Anytime you have to shine. So just tell us,
They say according to physics, they say black color absorbs it. So with the light, I'm already shining, if I may say so. But
I'm reflecting.
Yes. Unajua sasa when in brown, so we yako inatoa. So how are you guys doing, man? I go by the name Poet K2, aka the only brown South Sudanese in Kenya so far. I'm a performing spoken word artist, a storyteller, a journalist, a podcaster, a refugee right advocate. Yes.
See, I wouldn't have been able to say all of those things, so it's better when just you.
Yes.
How came the name the only
brown South Sudanese? So unajua wengine some of you guys mnajiuliza ujamaa kwani ako brown internally or what?
His blood is brown.
Yes. So the thing is, it's an irony that I mostly use because growing up as a young kid in the neighborhood of Githurai 45, so most of the time whenever I will play, I was playing only with mostly Kenyans. That is back in the early 2000s.
Wow.
1999 hapo. So nilikuwa nacheza na watu wenye wote ni rangi ya tao, if we say so. That's how we say. So they were very proud. So you'll find that whenever we'll play with them, some of them will end up whenever we have disputes, watakwambia we kiwi we jitoe hapa. So I grew up being discriminated because of my color, of my dark melanin skin. So when I grew up, went to high school, that's when now I accepted. So mi nilishi nikijichukia that kwani hii rangi ni mbaya aje, how bad is this color, such that a lot of people, whenever we have something bad against each other, that's what they use against us. Yes, that's the first thing that they use. So growing up as a kid nilikuwa najichukia, but by the time I was in high school I accepted who I was. Ndio rangi yangu, this is how God created me, and it's not going anywhere. So as a way of it's there to stay. So as a way of accepting it, I came up with an irony of calling myself brown, and then when people are like, but when emosi, they're like, oh, so that's the point. So it's an irony of making people accept who they are. Yes.
Well, that's a sad but beautiful story. It's a good ending. It has a good ending. Now I'm really interested to know. I think you just kind of started speaking about your early experiences.
Yes.
Can you connect your experiences to what you do now as a poet? How did your upbringing influence or play a part in you being a poet?
The thing is, as poets, this is something that mostly people outside there also know. As a poet, we're the voice of the voiceless back in the community, a reflection of what's happening in the community. So most of the time, any poet that you see outside there, not only just poets, even singers and rappers, most of them, they write based on what they experience back in the community or what they've experienced from a personal point. So that growth has helped me write some poems to inspire people that are also going through the same thing. There are poems that I've written about discrimination. There are poems that I've written about suicidal thoughts. There are poems because at times I wanted to end it all. But so there are poems that I've written about that has also inspired other people. Utapata msana kuambia manze hiyo poem yenye uliandika kuna venye pia mimi nilikuwa napitia hiyo na sijui kama unajua, you're like okay, so it's not all about me. So I think the maisha may play a very big role in what I do nowadays. So because most of my poems inspiration comes from the ground back in the community.
Oh wow, that's such a beautiful way to put it, that your experiences are not just your own, but you can kind of use it too, because as much as we have individualized experiences, we also have we go through things similar things,
Yes,
you know.
yes.
And it's such a powerful way of how you've used it now to
Asante.
create a community and create a feeling of you're not alone.
Yes.
I've been through this.
Yes.
It's survivable.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be.
Well, let me give you an example. Yeah. So when I was in high school, the poem that I've talked about, suicidal thoughts. When I was in high school, there's a guy tulikuwa naye. So he's a classmate, but this guy was a very jolly person, an extrovert, anaongea. Ni wale wase wa kuchekesha watu class haiwezi boeka. But behind the scene, this guy was going through a lot. Family issues, vitu zingine zenye anapitia financially. So one time as we were playing huko kwa uwanja, tunaitwa tunaambiwa kujeni msaidie, kuna mwenye anataka kujua. Kufika huko tunapata ni mse anataka kujihang. So utapata that a lot of people, unapata majamaa wana smile but behind the scene kuna vitu mingi zenye wanani. So ni nzuri if you interact with people, know what they're going through. You never know kitu yenye wewe unapitia wena pia wanapitia na ujui. So that inspired my poem, the suicidal thoughts, that has also helped a lot of people in terms of back in the community. Yes.
Wow, by the way, once we put the video out, let's just put a trigger warning on before this conversation on suicide.
No, but it's good. At times, like mental health, it's a topic that mostly people don't talk about.
They don't talk about.
Watu wengi wanailenga, they turn tables whenever such a topic comes. So it's good to express yourself, what you feel, when you wanna feel, just talk.
Yeah.
Just talk. So me, I'll advise people, watch. I don't think whatever that I'm talking about, it's not, even though it's too sensitive in terms of what people go through, but I'll advise them to watch it fully. Usiruke part yoyote. Watch.
No, I only meant it in the sense that sometimes it can be triggering.
Yes,
let's say
true.
someone has gone. So you just mentally prepare for it, but please don't skip it.
Yes.
You can take a break and come back and continue.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
When did you know you were a poet?
When did I know a poet? Anybody is a poet. Hata when he poet say
Shakespeare, Ajuma, guys.
Let's go.
Too brutal.
When you poet say, as long as you can express yourself, as long as you can form a paragraph, you're a poet. But now what differentiates us is we talk based on a collection of what others have also gone through. We make it ours, put ourselves in the shoes and then speak it out. So when did I know I'm a poet? I'm an extrovert, first of all.
Very much so, guys.
Meaning say I talk a lot. Tunaweza juana na mtu sahi hapa 5 minutes. In the next 20 minutes someone will think we've known each other for 10 years. So the more I used to talk back as a kid, I went into public speaking by the time I was getting into high school. I went into public speaking. Kidogo my teachers started telling me, you're very good at this, unaweza ifanya ikue much bigger. I didn't know what they meant by then, but I think they meant if I can try poetry. So I started focusing more on literature. Unajua venye ilikuwa ngumu high school, sijui the persona, sijui nini. So I started focusing more on that, and then one time we went on a trip, school trip, a debate somewhere, and then when it came now to the time of entertainment, there was a certain poet now that was entertaining people. Jamaa, the type of poem yenye alipiga, me, I told myself, by the time naenda back to school, by the time naamka, I'll have written 2 poems. So inspiration yangu ilianza from hapo. Yes. Wow. So nikafika shule, started trying, nikasema let me try this. I wrote it. Weekend challenge ikakuja, kulikuwa na hiyo ilikuwa inaitwa ni CU or what? CU. Hiyo yenye watu wanakuja, watu wa kanisa. Uje CU, kwani ulikuwa shule gani?
I didn't get a high school in Kenya, guys. I know, I'm kidding.
Oh my God. Ani watu wa Mayolo.
No, but I know what CU is.
So there was what we call a CU, where people, different schools come, they pray. So hiyo kitu ikakuja, I'm like let me try this spoken word. So I went and told a friend, but I was afraid, like sitaki niende uenda watu watanichekelea, people will laugh at me. So I'm like, let me just keep it to myself. But my friend said, hey, umesema uko na nini? Akaenda akachukua mic, coming on stage next, na ule mwingine akanisukuma. I'm like,
we love friends like that,
yes,
don't we?
So they're like, Msudi. I'm like, okay, here we go now.
It's now or never. Come back out.
So nikaanza nini zangu hapo, maisha yako kuwa bachelor sometime, nini. Kidogo tu I'm finishing, I'm hearing Igwe. I'm like, okay. So this is it.
That's an approval.
So now that one gave me the morale. I started writing more poems. And as they say, the rest is history. Here we are. 8 years later, here we are right now.
Wow. Have you sought to make, because it seems like poetry is such a big part of your life.
Yes.
Did you start by making it like commercialized poetry for you, or was it just like purely passion? And then at what point were you like, maybe this thing can also actually give me money as well? Because I don't think you did it in high school for money.
Yes. No, in high school, I can say it was for fun and for exposure a bit. But by the time we were done with high school, we now started coming outside. Unajua now, there's a difference between being an entertainer within the school and coming out. So the outer world, it shows you a lot of stuff. Like what you're supposed to do. So by the time we're coming out, you're like, people are telling you, you're not even doing good. Because outside here, people are experiencing different things, and what you're talking about are just things that people within the school are talking about. So by the time I was coming out, unapata wase wanafanya more than even you expect. My poems zingine zenye out of this world, you start thinking, how do I go about this? So I started taking it seriously maybe 3 years into the stuff. By the time now ilikuisha kwa like almost 5 years into it. That's when it hit my mind. I'm like, wait, people have started telling me, kuja cut and raise this show, come and cut and raise this show, take this 1,000, come and cut and raise this show, I'll give you transport. I'm like, okay. So this can bring something on the table. So I started taking it serious, and by the time now I took it serious and made it a business. It started paying a bit. As time goes by, it started paying more. And as we speak right now, that's what's keeping me in Nairobi. We're doing commercials, we're doing stuff.
City of Nairobi.
Yes, so so that's how I took it seriously. That is some years after. Yeah.
So it's giving like a natural progression of things, right?
Yes.
Because I think we live in a world where we want everything to be microwave, right? Like
yes.
Quick.
Ifanywe haraka. And this is what hii ndio kenye naambia watu. Nothing comes overnight. Unajua people think that watu wenye unaona wenye wame let me give an example of poets. I don't know, people know these people. The likes of Teardrops, Mufasa. There's the others also, Kapendo, there's Vurusimbaya, who's also now a rapper. If you just sit down with the likes of Teardrop and Mufasa and hear the story of how they started poetry almost 16 years ago.
Wow. That
is 8 years before I even thought of, these guys used to walk from almost Hapa wanaenda hadi almost Zima Manuko kwenda kuperform for free. It's not a walk in the park. There's hard work that you have to put in. Me always nafanyanga kitu inaitwa PhD. Prayers, hard work and discipline. So pray Mungu tu akuweke pazuri, give you health and so that you can go up there. Weka hard work. Like unaweza kuwa mkali, but if you don't put in the work, nothing will come out, no matter how good you are. So it's not a walk in the park. These guys had to sacrifice a lot of things. I also, the times I used to be paid, I remember 60 bob. That was my first biggest pay in nilipo. Na hiyo ilikuwa
You're not serious?
Yes.
Like 60?
Nakuru. 6 and 1 0. In Nakuru, 60 shillings, 60 bob. Nikamboa, bro,
guys, Fanta is how much?
It's even way. So that's like almost that. So nilikuwa nalipo hiyo, I was like we will sell flyers to promote the event, and then later on you're being told there's somehow kuna venye hesabu haijaingiana, kuna watu venue tumelipa. So back then, man, hauna say, you don't have a say. That's discipline for me.
I like that.
Yes, because you may write 3 or 5 poems right today, they're good discipline for me.
I like that.
Yes, because you may write 3 or 5 poems right today, they're good discipline for me.
I like that.
Yes, because you may write 3 or 5 poems right today, they're good. It's the talk of the town. Sasa
it won't go nowhere.
Yes,
like you have to play the long-term game.
Yes, look forward.
Like you have to play the long-term game.
Yes, look forward, not just for the time being.
If it's right here, it won't.
So these are the US. So this is a guy that I look up to a lot. His poems, at times, I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal this, but instead of giving credit, you want people to think that it's you.
In yangu.
Mi ndo ule mse. So that's why people get wrong. You now get Nakuru. What's it? Nasema boost ni kwa so for complaints and what. So I text these guys, I email them. The numbers zenye zinakwanga hapo chini kwa so for complaints and what. So I text these guys, I email them. I'm like, no. Sadly, he ended up being disqualified. But
I don't think it's sad.
No, ona hiyo do inaingia kwa maji. And if he takes like let's say 6 or 5 poems, ona hiyo. This guy says, as in, I've gone to audition, come back.
What helps you come back to it? Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to like.
Sometimes we go and come back.
What helps you come back to it? Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back.
Come back.
What helps you come back to it? Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives. What helps you come back to it? Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that? What helps you come back to it? Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that? What helps you come back to it? Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't.
What helps you come back to it? Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't.
What helps you come back to it? Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't.
You come back to it. Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't.
Come back to it. Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do.
Like what's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
What's that voice that tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
That tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
Tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
Tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
Tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
Tells you no, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
No, you have to let's just go back. Like what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
No, you have to let's just go back.
Like
what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
No, you have to let's just go back.
Like
what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
No, you have to let's just go back.
Like
what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
No, you have to let's just go back.
Like
what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing.
Let's just go back.
Like
what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing. People that are going through.
Go back.
Like
what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing. People that are going through whatever that.
Go back.
Like
what drives that?
If I don't do what I'm doing. people that are going through whatever that
Go back.
like
What drives that?
if I don't do what I'm doing, people that are going through whatever that
Go back.
like
What drives that?
if I don't do what I'm doing, people that are going through whatever that
That
if I don't do what I'm doing, people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community.
that
If I don't do what I'm doing, people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community.
that
If I don't do what I'm doing, people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community. If I don't do what I'm doing, people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. If I don't do what I'm doing, people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. If I don't do what I'm doing, people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. Do what I'm doing. People that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing. People that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as people that are going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as going through whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it whatever that are going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you going back in the community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you community will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it will speak up for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it for them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. So you keep doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. They're doing any bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. They're more than apart from bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. They're more than apart from you bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. They're more than apart from you bro, as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. They're more than apart from you who's as in as much as don't make it you make it about them. They're more than apart from you who's one kuna much as 20 it you make it about them. They're more than apart from you who's one kuna tu make it about them. They're more than apart from you who's one kuna tu 20 wanapita about them. They're more than apart from you who's one kuna tu 20 wanapitia kenye unapitia fanya for them. So just come back hivi na hivi. So those are some of the few challenges that we go through. Getting platforms also imekuwa shida, but by the time now we had done the poem or poetry tulikuwa tumeishikilia sasa vizuri. We started getting platforms, but as we are coming up, those are some of the challenges that we went through.
Wow.
Yep.
I think we live in such a I don't think Africa used to be such an individualistic I'm gonna start rapping.
Ingoso.
Individualistic society, but I think we're borrowing a lot of things from the Western world. So I think it's just so refreshing to hear that, you know, you don't do it for me,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Is there any part of it, because I that's connected to spirituality or religion?
I'm not much of a religious person, if I may say so.
And I'll tell you why, because I have a thinking in my head, but continue.
Okay, I know what you're thinking, but I need to hear it from you
Yes.
first. But here's the thing. I'm not that much of a religious person. So, but I believe in God. So that has not affected my relationship with God, if I may say so. So at times I don't connect much on the religion. I speak more on things that are happening on the ground personally to people, but not much of a religion stuff. Yes.
So the reason as to why I asked if you connected to religion or spirituality in a sense, because I don't know, I had this picture of like the kingdom, which is the world that we live in, right? And that how are we using our talents, how are we using like the beatitudes, like how are we using our skills, not for our own benefit really, but for the benefit of the next person.
Okay.
And that's kind of how I was able to like connect it. Like it's not for my glory, and it's to help that person, it's to help her, to help him,
Yes.
so that as a community, as a society, we can all be that kingdom
Yep. I
that
knew
we
it.
want. Hallelujah. Can I get an
Amen,
amen?
amen. Bwana Yesu asifiwe.
Asifinywe.
Yes.
I love that. So at the point that you're at right now,
Yes.
like how comfortable are you with your craft? Like how, because you said you dropped out like let's say 6 times, and then you're like, I don't know, let me just go back. Like how certain are you of your craft, and that, you know, like yes, you'd face some bad comments and, you know, discourages from outside, but like how are you able to tune out those voices,
Negative comments.
yes, like tune out the negative comments, or even use it really as a springboard, you know, to be like, hey guys.
So like there's a saying that goes, I don't know if I'll put it right, but the saying that goes that if people are not talking negatively about what you're doing, or they're not criticizing what you're doing, you're not doing
You're
something.
not doing nothing.
I don't know if that's the right one to use.
I understand
Yes.
what you're saying.
The moment I accepted that, I'm like, maybe these are people, one,
Yeah.
they want what I have but they don't have, so they're jealous of it, so let me not mind them. Two, these are people that are against the goodness of how good a community can be, so don't mind about it. Two, as long as they're not there to block my way physically, that usiende mbele, don't mind about them. As long as they're not the ones you don't get inspiration from. At times I get inspiration from haters though. Don't mind them.
Yeah.
So that's how I deal with
bad.
yeah. As long as I want to affect directly with what I do, I don't give a F about them, if I may say so.
About it.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I think it's an important point that you've mentioned, and I think a lot of people need to understand this, that when someone is saying something bad or criticizing you, there is something as constructive feedback.
Yes.
I don't like to call it criticism. It's like constructive feedback, and that will be packaged in a way that's to help you.
Yes.
But kuna comments zingine, kuna
Zenye ni
feedback ingine
directly
just like,
mbaya.
and you just know like, hey, this is not a big problem. This is
So mse anafanya nini? You're like, mse anafanya nini? You're like, okay, unamwambia anafanya ni nini unataka afanye basi. Tell him or tell her. So such people, they're always there in every, wanasemanga in every market there's a mad person. So anakuanga, hao ndio wenda wazimu hapo sasa.
Yeah, and a lot of things are personal. Like it's not like people impose a lot, right? So like if I come and I say something bad or negative to you, it's a telling of how I'm feeling internally, maybe about myself, my inadequacies and my other things. It's like, I say this shine and me, I have.
Let me give you something here.
Go ahead.
I've told you I've done many auditions. There's this one specific audition, I'll never forget about it. I went to a certain audition. That is now during after COVID, sasa imeanza kuisha 2021, watu wameanza kurudi sasa form kidogo. So I went to this audition it was an audition of there's a certain show that was supposed to premiere on KBC. So they needed comedy and poetry. So see, they called people. So I saw the poster, went for the audition. Went into the audition room, and seated in front of me are 3 famous guys, comedians, all of them. I won't mention names. They're very known here in Kenya. Seated in front, comedians, some of them are radio presenters. And then they're like, so now, like, I'm standing there waiting for a signal because I don't know. They're like, Suanze. I'm like, okay. Yo, the poetry stuff, this, marai, manini. And then I stop. The guy's like, kuna talanta ingine unaweza jaribu, hata sujaribu basketball na hiyo ref. I'm like, okay. Nikasema sawa. They're like, it's a no for me. Nikasema sawa. Nikatoka nje, went out. I didn't write poetry for like almost 1 month. But came back 1 year later. Is it 1 year? 3 years later, one of the guys that was criticizing me. So I get a call from a media house, a very big media house, Citizens TV to be specific, that like we need you to be a certain representative of the people that are coming for the World Refugee Day. So we've seen your talent, it's very good. So you'll be the representative of the refugees for the World Refugee Day.
No way.
On this day. So that is now courtesy of FilmAid Kenya and the United Nations. So we get there. After, as we were doing the briefing, guess who passes by? One of the judges that was in the hall with me. And then it's like,
collect me, guys. What?
So you see the way the table done. So one of the ule mwenye alikuwa ananiambia ati usijaribu bake, he passes. I'm like, mimi mwenyewe sana ndio nikamsana, nikamwambia mambo, asema ni kama ni mai kukuona, nikasema ule boy wa point.
They'll never forget your face.
So internally I'm like, who's laughing now?
Jokes on you.
Ndio tukaingia, we did the citizen stuff. Went there with some of my brothers from Burundi. Tukafanya mambo yetu and then we left. So in other words, what's the moral of this story? Wanasemanga, once fall 6, get up 7 and go forward. So it's don't give up on what you're doing.
It's a continuous journey, right?
Whatever that you're going through right now, it's a testimony of what you'll tell. And the more bad that you pass through the journey and you succeed, the story becomes very sweet. Very sweet.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time there's a judge that criticized me, lakini boss wake akaniita penye yeye anafanya kazi.
Now who's the boss?
Who's flexing now? Yes, so don't ever give up. Don't ever give up on what you're doing.
And I think also this goes to people who are sourcing this kind of talent. I think there's a certain, not even sensitivity, there's a certain like decorum that they need to have, right? Like if, let's say in that case, for example, they don't know how many, not kill per se like talent, but how many people they're discouraging.
I'm telling you.
You know?
I'm telling you.
Like, let's say I am a young 18-year-old in Kenya, I've gotten this, I've seen the flyer, I'm here to, like try things out, and then you come and tell me, hey, man, easy, like this.
Do it in a proper way.
Yeah. And then you'll be like, okay, you can even say, when you did this, because najiaminia, I'm like, okay, but then you can give me feedback on what I've come to
even
present.
Even them when you wanna judge, before they even got to where they were, they were not that good the way they were. There are times also pia wamecriticiziwa in a proper way so that they can do more. But sasa mbona wakuja wafanya the opposite?
I think we should just like grow each other up. There's no need to be just because you were once made it.
You were once there.
I tell you, we live in a very funny world. There's no such thing as I've made it now. I can look down on people. Be humble.
I'm telling you.
Be humble and kuza talanta. You know.
I'm telling you.
Yeah. Yes. So what's next for you? Like in poetry, what's the next big thing? What's your next goal, dream?
My next big thing is to there's a slam. There's something we call the poetry slam. So it's a poetic competition where a lot of poets from different countries around the world, not just only Africa, come together. They compete for a certain topic, like you for a certain position. You be the king or you be the queen.
The queen
so
of
the poetry, so it's a poetry slam. So my next big thing is to win that thing.
Amen.
Yes,
we
hopefully.
love that.
Yeah, so it's happening September. That is next month. So I'll be participating. So you guys watch out. Yeah. I may come back here as the king next time. So make sure you're watching this podcast to come and get updates. Yes.
First, I like that. I like that little plug. Yeah. Oh wow. I think we've also kind of talked about like the experiences, but I want you to connect the power of poetry to the context of South Sudan. Like, how is it, what's the connection? How are you using it to speak about what's happening back at home?
Yes. You know, as a country, South Sudan as a country itself, we've gone through a lot as a country. We used to be Sudan. That is back in the days before 2011. And we fought for like 56 years. That is one of the longest civil wars in the world, not just only Africa. So after that, we had a separation. We had independence in 2011, becoming the youngest nation in the world. So 2 years after that, we had a civil war now ourselves. Because back then we were within South, the individual. So 2 years after that, that is now in 2013, we had a civil war that really broke the country, took us back to the level zero, and it was based on tribalism, if I may say so. And we've as a country, I don't know how to put it, but we've destroyed our image. Because anywhere we go right now, most of us are refugees outside this. Me myself being first generation of refugees to be born in a refugee camp. I was born in Kakuma refugee camp that is located in Turkana. So it has destroyed our image. Anywhere we go, we're seen as arrogant. We're seen as people of doing bad things. So when I found myself in a position to preach through my poetry, I write poems about what we as the people go through. I talk to my people that we should not be going to this direction. This is the direction we're supposed to be going to. So I've written a lot of poems, like almost 4 poems based on what we as the country of South Sudan goes through. There's one that is one of my biggest, if I may say so. It's called Refugee. That is a poem that gets me 20 gigs a year. Every year.
And we love it. We pray for 40 gigs a year next.
So it's a poem that I talk about we being refugees, what we should do as a country. So it has inspired a lot of people. I get called to events to speak to my people and talk to them. So it has a power of spreading positivity yes, among each other, yes, and change. Yes.
Wow. You know, we say you're doing the Lord's work.
Thank you. Amen. Amen.
You're truly doing the Lord's work. I think it's such a beautiful way how you've used your talent.
Thank you.
And I say again, not for the benefit of you, but for your people. I think that's very admirable.
Thank you so much.
And as we wind down, at the end, I'll ask you to give us like a poem.
Say no more.
But I want you to talk to a young poet out there. Like, just spend the next 30 seconds talking to a young poet. What would you say to them?
Nothing is permanent. Whatever that you're going through right now, in terms of your journey, it's an inspiration of what you will tell, and whatever that you're going through, use it as an inspiration to even preach more. Speak for the people, listen to the people, and be keen with what's happening around your environment. Those are the 3 things that I
love that. Short and sweet.
Yes.
Right, time for a poem now, guys. We're ready.
Yes, so I'm in love with a Kenyan lady.
This one.
Not her. I'm in love with a Kenyan lady. Madly in love with her. She's Luo. So apart from her mother tongue, English is her second language, and she speaks it so well. My in-laws speak to me in vocabularies. They'll be like, Omera, if anything happens to her, we will spontaneously dislocate your dental formulas. Whatever that means. Her mother is a Kalenjin. So whenever I'm in a bad mood, she cools me down with a sip of mursik. I'm in love with a Kenyan lady. Her name is Faith. So no matter the ups and downs in this relationship, I still have faith in this relationship. At times I lack words to describe her. She's not tall, she's not short. In short, she's just perfectly the way God created her for me. She's my best friend. You see, when I'm at my lowest, she taps me on the back just to remind me that she has my back. Her love language is communication. So on a daily basis, I tell her she's beautiful. Not just her face, but also her heart too. She calls me Msudi wa mine. I call her Jaber. I'm in love with a Kenyan lady. To be continued. I
love that. Now we're just sheepishly smiling here. Kenyan ladies, let's gather together.
Madam, this is not the second wife, so don't you'll get me into trouble when I get
please, I beg. It's your cinema.
Yes.
But again, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
You're a beautiful poet and beautiful aura. Like you're a beautiful person.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. Where can we find you?
Yeah,
where should people...
You can get me on all my social media platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok at poet underscore K and 2 in number. Okay. On all those platforms. So poet underscore K 2 in number.
We can also link it in the...
Yes, on WhatsApp, Safaricom. Yes.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Thank you guys. We've come to the end of our show. I have been your host, Miss Ajuma. Bye.
Thank you.